What's up guys, Cooper Carter here for G66, and on this week's Fractal Friday, I'm going to show you how to create a perfect whammy effect on the Aspects 3, FM9, or FM3. Welcome to 2023. Happy New Year, everybody, and welcome to Season 2 of Fractal Friday. We're starting off this year with one of my all-time favorite effects, the whammy effect, of course, based on the famous Digitech pedal that was first released way back in 1989 as the WH1. It's become very famous through players like Tom Morello and David Gilmour and others. I'm using a Fractal EV1 here to actually actuate the whammy pedal itself, and I'll show you guys how I've got that set up. You can use any TRS-based expression pedal that you have. I do, though, highly recommend the EV1 and the EV2 from Fractal. They are awesome pedals, they're rock solid, and they're super precise as far as where you put your feet. As always, this is a super quick video on just one little technique, but if you'd like to get the absolute most out of your Fractal unit, whether that's the Aspects 3, the FM9, or the FM3, make sure to visit classes.coopercarter.com for my complete Fractal Audio Masterclass series. Now, of course, if you just throw a pitch block in your preset, select the Classic Whammy type, and attach it to a pedal, you've got a pretty good whammy effect right out of the box. But I'm going to show you two really cool tricks that we can use to really take the whammy effect to the next level and dial in that classic Digitech whammy sound. So I'm in the FM9 here, but of course this preset will work in any of the three units, and the techniques that I'm about to show you are equally applicable to the Aspects 3 and the FM3 as well. So I've dialed in a big, beefy, overdriven tone here with my Friedman HBE 2010 and a T808OD. Sounds a little bit like this. Pretty massive. I've gone ahead and put a pitch block in here. Let's turn that on. I've selected the Classic Whammy type. And the first thing I'm going to do is just select the detector source input 1. So just in case you put anything before this block, you're not affecting how the pitch block is actually tracking what you're playing. You'll see that it's defaulted to a mix of 100%. Of course, we want our whammy to be at 100% mix when we're using it. And we've got up 1 octave, which is kind of the classic whammy sound. Now on this control parameter here, we want to right click and attach it to our pedal. Now I've got the EV1 plugged into the pedal 1 jack of the FM9, but across the Fractal units, the Aspects 3, the FM9, and the FM3, external 1 is the modifier source that I like to use, and then I attach the pedal jack on a given unit to external 1 so that the presets are cross-compatible. And you'll find that the factory presets in the units actually use external 1 for the wah. So I've gone ahead and selected pedal 1 for my external 1 source in my global settings. You can do the same, or if you're on an FM9 or FM3 or even an Aspects 3, you can select the appropriate pedal jack there. Now when I move my EV1, I go up and down, so I should have a nice whammy sound here. But you hear it's a little weird at the bottom because I'm actually still getting processed signal. So the next thing I can do is set this auto engage here to, let's say, medium position and see what we've got. You'll hear that we have two little hiccups. First off, when we move the pedal from the heel toward the toe, the pedal actually comes on around 5%, which is the off value of the auto engage. So we're missing a couple of notes there right from the unity pitch coming up. And then when we come back down, you'll hear there's a little pop there as the pedal turns off. So while auto engage works pretty well for wah pedals, we want to use a different technique to get this whammy really, really smooth. What I'm going to do is turn the pitch block on and have it on actually all the time. And then I'm going to go to this mix parameter here right click and attach external 1 to it as well. And now I'm going to create a custom curve here for this modifier. A start of 40, a midpoint of 100, an end point of 55, a slope of 0, a scale of 10, and an offset of 100%. And now, as soon as I move the pedal even the tiniest bit, the mix of this pitch effect goes up to 100. So it's at 0, and then tiny little movement, and we're at 100%. So now, we get a much more natural, much smoother effect. And when the pedal is heeled down, the mix is at 0%. So we're not getting any effect at all. Now you may find at these settings that when you start playing super high notes, you're getting a little bit too much of that upper high end kind of digital aliasing sound. And that's because the Axe-Fx 3 and the FM9 and the FM3 are using much more high quality components than what the original Whammy pedal actually had in it. Again, it came out in 1989. They were probably trying to mass produce it and keep the components pretty affordable, and the sample rate would have been much lower than the Fractals. And so it's a good bit less broadband than this effect actually is right now. And what we can do to recreate more of the sound of the original pedal is just bring this high cut way down. And you can do this to taste. You can try it somewhere around 5K, and that should make it sound a little bit more like the original pedal. If you still think you're getting too much, you can bring it down a little bit more. You hear the difference here, so we'll put it back up to about 10K where it was. And then we can bring it down to, let's say, 5K. Now this effect is of course supposed to sound pretty digital because the original pedal has that sound, and like with any technology, the kind of shortcomings of it become what's most desirable after time. So think vinyl pops or the kind of gritty VHS look on a screen that's so often created now in video. This Whammy pedal is supposed to sound pretty digital. That's the sound we're going for. So we've got our whammy here, we've got a little bit of reverb, and we've got a bunch of gain. Let's check this out. I'll call this first scene Morello. Let's go up to this second scene. I'm going to call this one Gilmore. And all I've done here is I've got the exact same whammy settings. I've got the exact same drive amp and cab, but I've turned on a big delay, a huge Aurora multi-delay, and a large, expansive, deep hall reverb. This is much more in the vein of Marooned, one of my all-time favorite Pink Floyd tracks. So 2 quick tweaks to the default settings. We've got our mix parameter here being actuated by the pedal so that we get a smoother on-off for our effect. And we've brought this high cut down to tame those highs just a little bit. This mix trick is referred to in Fractal land as the golden effect technique, and it was developed by the brilliant Matt Picone, and there's no reason that you couldn't apply it to other effect types as well. So on this flanger here in the preset, let's open that one up, and I've gone ahead and attached the manual here to external 1 and brought the depth to 0, so this manual has full effect. And then the mix parameter as well, I have attached to external 1, dialed in the golden mapping settings, and then set the maximum to 50%. So I can actually actuate the manual control on this flanger with my foot now. And when I I bring the pedal all the way down, the mix immediately goes to 0. It's as if I've bypassed the flanger, but we don't get that hiccup. So there you have it, a perfect whammy effect, very quick, very easy, and I hope you've seen that you can also apply this golden effect technique to all sorts of other effects. If you guys enjoyed this video, please do make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to G66's channel, and let me know what you'd like to see on a future Fractal Friday this season in the comment section below this video. And as always, if you want to get the absolute most out of your Fractal unit, whether that's the Axvex 3, the FM9, or the FM3, make sure to visit classes.coopercarter.com for my complete Fractal Audio Masterclass series. For all things Fractal Audio, keep it right here on G66, and I will see you next week and for the rest of the year on Fractal Friday.